Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. All right, so I want to read a passage for you today from Luke chapter 5. That would be chapter 5, starting in verse 12. You probably are familiar with this story. We discussed it. Well, the sermon was focused on this story at church this weekend. And every time I hear this story, a question is raised in my mind, and I want to talk about that with you today. All right, so Luke chapter 5, starting in verse 12. While Jesus was in one of the towns, a man came along who was covered with leprosy. When he saw Jesus, he fell with his face to the ground and begged him, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said. "Be clean." And immediately the leprosy left him. Then Jesus ordered him, "Don't tell anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest and offer the sacrifices that Moses commanded for your cleansing as a testimony to them." Yet the news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. And that is a pretty amazing and very cool story, especially during the sermon. Our pastor pointed out really what were the effects for a person who had leprosy. What was it like for them to have leprosy? They were outcasts. They had to live on the outside of the city. If they were around people, they had to holler out, "Unclean, unclean." I mean, literally parts of their bodies would fall off. It was a miserable existence. And here this man is who's got leprosy. He's bold enough to go to Jesus because he's heard that Jesus can do amazing things. He's bold enough to go to him and say, "If you're willing, I know you can make me clean." And Jesus, filled with compassion, touches the man, which, by the way, was against the rules, but Jesus did it. He touched the man. He said, "I am willing, be clean." And we're all amazed. And we think, wow, Jesus can do anything. And we're encouraged. We can go to him with our everything, with our leprosy, with whatever it is we're facing. We can go to him. And if he's willing, he can take care of the problem for us. And that's a great story. And obviously, news spread about Jesus. Everybody was excited and they were going to him for help. But the question that is raised in me every time I read this story is this: what if he wasn't willing? What if, for some reason beyond what we could fathom, it was not God's will for this man to be made clean? What if it was part of his plan, his perfect plan, that this man continue on with leprosy? Or, hitting a little closer to home, what if when we go to him and we say, "If you're willing, God, I know you can, whatever, you can take away this pain. You can heal me of depression. You can, whatever it is." Yeah, he can. What if he isn't willing? What if the thing we're going through, what if the thing you are going through, painful as it may be, what if it's part of his perfect plan? What if he intends for you to walk through this valley? He'll walk with you. But what if he intends for you to walk through it? And then perhaps on the other side, he has some great plans for how he's going to minister through you to other people who are walking through the same thing. What if we go to him and we say, "If you're willing, I know you can do this." And he says, "Yes, if I was willing, I could do it. But my child, I am not willing. I have a perfect reason. I have a perfect plan right now. And I want you just to walk through this. And I'm going to walk through it with you. And I want you to trust me. If that's the answer he gives us, do we still consider him good? Do we still consider him all-powerful and loving and wise, even if he isn't willing? I ask these questions not to dash your hope that he's going to deliver you from whatever it is you're going through. I ask you these questions not to be a wet blanket at the party, but simply to get to the heart of the matter and ask, do you trust him? No matter what you're going through, no matter what the pain, no matter what his answer to your question, do you trust him? And will you still praise him? I pray the answer to both of those questions is yes. And if you're going through something, and if he isn't willing to take it away right now, I pray that God will give you the strength and the grace you need to endure. Now, my friend, go and have a wonderful, Jesus-full day.